Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Numerics with Nadia. In today's video, we're going to continue working through the beginner geometry module. In today's lesson, we're going to learn what is volume, and we will go over the volume of cubes and the volume of rectangular prisms. So our lesson plan for today, first off, we will answer the question, what is volume? Then we will go through the formulas for volume of a cube as well as volume of a rectangular prism. And then, as always, we will end off with a few practice problems to really solidify everything we learn in the lesson. So to start off, let's define what volume even is. So for our purposes, the way we will define volume is that volume is the space occupied inside of a three-dimensional shape or object. And another term that a lot of people use to kind of capture the idea of volume is called capacity. So the capacity of an object, the space inside of a 3D object, that is what volume is. And I know that the definition might be kind of similar to area. So I'm going to take a second here on the bottom to show the difference between perimeter, area, and volume. So as we've gone over in a previous video, which I will tag here for you guys, perimeter is the distance around a shape, right? So imagine fencing something or wrapping something. That's the distance around a shape. Now for area is the measure of the space inside of a two-dimensional shape. And here you will see the difference because volume is the measure of the space inside of a three-dimensional shape. So area is for two-dimensional shapes, volume is for three-dimensional shapes, and the 3 dimensions for volume we went over in our classifying three-dimensional shapes video, which we did last week. I will go ahead and tag that for you guys here, but otherwise we'll go through those 3 dimensions as we go through our formulas as well. But for now, I would copy this whole page into your notebook because we have the word definition of volume as well as a visual comparing it to perimeter, area, and volume visually. So now that we have defined everything, we'll get into our volume formulas. The 2 shapes we will focus on for today, we will do volume of a rectangular prism as well as volume of a cube. So starting off with volume of a rectangular prism, or also sometimes referred to as volume of a cuboid, I'm going to put up an image here for us so we can see things visually. So a rectangular prism has 3 dimensions. It has a length, a width, and a height, which I've labeled here for you guys. We're just going to be using the first letter of each word in our formula. And volume is just the length times the width times the height. So that is the formula for volume of a rectangular prism. Now we'll go through the volume of a cube. So first off, I'll go ahead and insert a picture of a cube for you guys. So this blue figure is a cube, and I'm labeling all the sides with S because all the sides in the cube are the same length. So S is the length of any edge or any side of our cube. Since they're all the same, we can use the same letter for all of them. And our volume equation for a cube would just be S cubed. So basically S times S times S, right, which also is S cubed. So now that we've gone through the formulas for the volume of a rectangular prism as well as the volume of a cube, now we'll get into our practice section for today. The directions say to find the volume of the rectangular prisms and the cubes below. So I hope you guys copy down the formulas for both of those because we're going to need them here. I'll also rewrite them, but they will be needed here. And for our first example, you'll see that we have a rectangular prism, right? How do I know this? Because all the sides are not the same length and it's shaped like a rectangle. So now that we have our shape, let's write out what the length, width, and height are. The length of our shape is 4 inches. Our width is 4 inches as well. And the height of our rectangular prism is 6 inches. So the volume of a rectangular prism, remember, is length times width times height. So we will do that. We know that the length is 4, so we will have 4 times 4 times 6, right, when we substitute everything in. And it's just order of operations here. We'll move left to right and we'll just multiply. We know that 4 times 4 gives us 16. And then we'll have to multiply 16 times 16. When we do 16 times 16, we get 96. And keep in mind here, since our shape is three-dimensional, our units will be cubed for volume, always. So our answer for number 1 would be 96 inches cubed. And now we'll move on to our second example. And as we see here, this is another rectangular prism. Why? Because all the sides are not the same. We'll go through and relabel everything here again. Our length is 8 meters, our width is 7 meters, and our height is 3 meters. And the volume equation remains the same since this is also a rectangular prism. So we have to do length times width times height. And in this example, when we plug in, we would be doing 8 times 7 times 3. And again, since we're just multiplying, we'll multiply from left to right. We know 8 times 7 gives us 56, and 56 by 3. We will multiply that on the side here. We know 6 times 3 is 18, 5 times 3 is 15, add the 1. That gives us 168 meters cubed. Again, don't forget the units cubed. But that would be it for number 2. Our answer for the volume of this rectangular prism would be 168 meters cubed. And now we will move on to our last practice problem for today's lesson. Notice here, all the sides are the same length, right? So that means we have a cube. So our side length here is 9 inches. And since we have a cube, we have to use the volume equation for cubes, and that is s cubed. So here we will do 9 cubed. And 9 cubed is the same as 9 times 9 times 9, right? So when we do that, we know 9 times 9, well, that gives us 81. And 81 times 9 we will do on the side here. We know 1 times 9 is 9, and 9 times 8 gives us 72. So our answer for number 3 for this cube, the volume would be 729 inches cubed. So that wraps up our practice problems for today. Feel free to review or write out any other examples if you guys would like to see additional examples. But that is it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video if you did. Comment down below any questions or any other topics you would like me to do a video on. Share this video with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.